Hey, what's up? Just a dad here. Um, Wanted to hop on here and share some thoughts as we remember 9/11 in the wake of the tragedy, the assassination of Charlie Kirk yesterday. Some things that have been on my mind. A little bit about me. My family's originally from Hawaii. I was raised military, so I was benefit of travel when I was young. East Coast, West Coast, Europe, Asia. Just been kind of all around the place growing up. So I kind of have a worldly perspective. I was raised Catholic, but I found my faith in the Bible as a young man, and so here it is today, September 11th, and we're supposed to be remembering the fallen, the people who were attacked on 9/11, the heroes that rushed towards danger to rescue those who needed help. And I remember when it happened, right? We came together as a country during that time. It didn't matter what your views were, if you were left or you were right. Full disclosure, I'm probably center right of most issues, politically speaking, but I don't share that. And I'll explain why here in a minute. But I remember, the whole country, we came together, and we're supposed to be coming together right now to remember. We said we would never forget, always remember 9/11, and as we were up in arms, as we were just angry because the attacks, we said we're not going to let the terrorists win. We'd still go out to public venues. We would still, convene in big events, and we'd still proceed and move forward with life in America as Americans in solidarity. Never mind your political leanings. We were all Americans during that time. And today we're supposed to remember that. We're supposed to remember that we're all Americans, and yet yesterday a terrible tragedy unfolded. And there's so many layers to it, right? Like when you stop and think about what actually took place, the silencing of free speech by some whack job that they're still looking for, right? A man who was a political activist, and he used his political activism to talk to people about God, about Jesus Christ, to spread the gospel. Of course, I'm speaking about Charlie Kirk. He was assassinated in front of his wife and two children because what he wanted to do was have a discussion, to challenge ideas in a place, a university where you're supposed to challenge thoughts and ideas so that you could go to, and learn how to critically think. I have two children that have college to look forward to, and an older child that is out in the world living her best life, right? But with two kids about to go into college, I would hope that their thoughts and their beliefs would be challenged in an academic setting where the ideas would be open for discussion. And yet this man who wanted to challenge those thoughts and ideas in a hope to fight against degeneracy and to spread the gospel and give people a true hope for this world, used his political activism to teach people and talk to people about God. And he was assassinated in the most cruel and calloused way. And if you've seen the video, it's absolutely horrific. It's just a terrible, terrible thing that we as a nation have seen. My children have seen it, whether they wanted to or not. And me, I'm just a dad. I call myself that, and I will call myself that on this channel because that's my perspective. A lot of what I'm going to talk about is not going to be political, though or maybe it will. I don't know. I just think I'm going to be looking at things and talking to things from the perspective of just the dad. My job as a dad is to protect, to be a bulwark against evil for my children and my family. And I think a lot of people are not understanding what truly happened yesterday. And frankly, it's been going on, right? I just learned myself. I try to stay off of social media. I try to not have that social media presence because, much like watching TV and news, it's mostly negative that sells, and I prefer to push positive in my life. But I fear I failed as a father because I'm not acting as a shield. Whether I wanted the negativity of Charlie Kirk's assassination entering my home or not, it entered. My children saw it. They're plugged into the internet. All of our children are probably plugged into the internet some way, shape, or form. And so I feel like I've got to speak up. As a kid, I was always taught there's 3 things you don't speak about. You don't talk about sex. You don't talk about religion. You don't talk about politics. Not in public discourse, right? In private, personal, one-on-one, yeah, talk about all those things all you want. But in public, you don't mention those things because it was considered rude and impolite, right? It would divide people. And yet here we are in private, taking these private conversations, having them out loud. For better or worse, we're having them out loud. And I've been silent for the last 25 years. And I think in light of this attack, I can't be silent anymore. I refuse to be silent. Because like Charlie Kirk fought for what he believed in, right? And I think too many people have remained quiet and have not fought. And here's why I say fight. I don't mean, I think if you want to honor Charlie Kirk, you don't fight fire with fire. You're not going to go out there, and I pray that none of you are going to respond with violence. Charlie Kirk didn't want violence, I don't think. I think he wanted people to know God. And God would say, love your enemies. And that's a very challenging thing, I think, for a lot of people who followed him, who were fans of his, who were feeling devastated and lost. I know the natural inclination is to go, my ideas were attacked, my ideas were challenged, I need to fight. And I think we treat violence with violence, and that's not the way. That's not the way to do it. I don't think that's a Christian way. I don't think that's what Charlie Kirk would have wanted. I think the call to action right now is to fight, though, by fighting against ideas, by getting online. Create a YouTube channel, get on Facebook, get on Instagram, get on TikTok. Start having conversations and fighting against these ideas that have got good people. Believe it or not, they are good people. I believe that they're people who genuinely care about about other people, but they're twisted to become violent. And show them how to love by loving them. So I'm going to be on this channel from now on, speaking up and fighting those ideas, standing up for what I believe in, sharing my faith. And I hope you'll join me. I hope you'll join me in the discussion. I am no Charlie Kirk. I'm just a dad. I've got a GED, a ghetto education diploma. I grew up, like I said, lower socioeconomic middle class. But I think it's time to stand up and fight. Fight against these ideas. Stand up for good and right and moral things. But I pray that everybody, whether you're on the left or the right, that you remember the words to love your neighbor as yourself. We're all Americans here. 9/11, we're supposed to be coming together in solidarity. I think it's what Charlie Kirk would have wanted, for us to come together and stand up against things. I mean, there are people right now celebrating his death. And it's time to put the humanity back in America. Right? So, I'd love to hear from you. Like, comment, subscribe. Say something in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. And whatever you get from me, just know it's coming from a place of a dad. I'm just a dad. And so I hope to hear from you. Love you. Peace.